Intro music. Ready? Alright, just let the intro music play. Woo woo! We love our supporters! They hunt those headlines. So if you want to stay abreast of the situation, well, ooh, that's a really good question. Battle chats. Boom, 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 boom. Chat. Excellent. I just want to give a shout out again to all our supporters and fans. I'm going to do a quick hat shout out. Still have not received a hat, so just letting everybody know, you can put your ad here. Yeah. We got... I'm like a hat guy. When I'm not at work, I'm wearing a hat, so you will get advertisement wherever I go. I will wear your hat. So just throwing that out there. Marc having slight technical difficulties, but Marc says he can't hear us, but we can hear him. Oh, delicious. We actually this week have a little video tour of our Easter dinner. Do you think the people want to see it? All right, so hold on one sec and let's get that going. Wow, that was just so good. I know, it's a because she gets all the letters, and yet we don't have any voicemails. And I think this is going to be a good point to introduce possibly a new section we're toying with introducing, and it's going to be semi homemade cooking. You're going to have the deliciousness and the presentation and the taste of a homemade prepared meal, but it's not going to be all the work. It's going to be a little less of the work because we're going to be using some. Right, so maybe some store-bought stuff we can spice up, or maybe some already pre-made some things that work just as good than if you make it at home. Did I miss anything on that, Matt? Mm. Right. What'd you do? Mm-hmm. Okay. Right. Yeah. Right. Mm. Hold on. Yeah, I can hear you. Dad just texted me. Is that? Can you hear? Hello? Hello? Oh, that's good. Hey, Mark. Whoa. That could have been on our end. We did just get a new mixer. So let's just check. Mark.
you use when you're doing your thing?
It depends really. I do a lot more web development side, like server side now. So a lot of PHP, a lot of JavaScript, HTML, CSS. That's pretty much your bread and butter in the web design world anyway. But I've been doing a lot more back end stuff. So mostly PHP, unfortunately Angular, which is JavaScript in a fancy framework, and it's not the most fun to work with, but it gets stuff in.
Can you get into a little more description about the Angular? I'm interested to
Uh,
hear about it.
Angular, it's tough to describe if you but basically Angular is kind of designed for developers who wanted to make front end stuff because it kind of takes a lot of the work away from building stuff on the front end that you would normally have to do and that isn't fun to do as a person coming from a developer. When I say
Yeah.
developer, I'm talking more back end side. Designer tends to be more the front end, which is what you'd see on a web page.
Uh,
Anyway, it's kind of a way for developers to start making more designy websites. The problem is Angular itself has gone through like 8 different versions, and the version we use is like probably from 7 6 7 years ago now. So it's not very well documented either.
well, but you know what? You're working with what you got, and that's
Exactly. Yeah.
very
Yeah.
working with what you got is very similar to cooking. It's if you can't do that,
Hmm.
you got to figure something out. But seriously though, can you get into something? What recently have you done that you're very proud of?
Proud of? Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah.
That's a tough one. I mean, for the past few years, I've been working for a single company. I used to do a lot more designy stuff. I worked
Oh,
for a
I'm
company that we
gonna
did a lot of.
jump in for 1 sec.
Sure, yeah.
Mark, your
Hmm.
camera is on your RGB fan, which is pretty cool. I don't know
And
if you knew that.
yeah, no, I didn't want to. I didn't know if it should be on me. I didn't forget it was even connected, and it kind of just was where it was, so I went with it.
That's fine. And I just want to let all the callers know our number is right there at the bottom, and they can call in with any questions. Um, now that we have the number one web developer on the East Coast,
That's a
That's
uh,
nice
a that's
looking
a title
fan,
that
man.
I don't
Mark,
know,
That
man.
is a
continue.
great looking fan. That's all I
Right?
gotta
Yeah.
Let's
say.
get that
No,
RGB.
I love it. It's
RGB.
it's my new fan setup. So, but yeah, no. What was the question again? Oh yeah, something I worked on recently. It's tough to say because honestly, for the past few years, I've been working on a single product, which has been a long road. It's been something I've been working on for 2 years, and it finally got launched, which feels good. The problem is it's not really a product that most people would probably be too familiar with unless you're in market research. It's a large platform and it got purchased, but it's just
Well, that's
kind of
something to
a
be very
niche
proud
market.
of there, Mark. That's something to
It
be
is
very
for
proud
sure,
of.
yeah. Like the
Um,
company I work for just got acquired and stuff, which is a big deal. So it's been fun, but it's a lot of like changes going on right now. So
so have you had an influence? Like, did somebody influence you? Did you have a role like an idol in the web design field? Somebody that you looked up to, somebody that was equally as passionate as you are.
for sure, I mean, previously before working here, I didn't work with a lot of other developers. I was the only developer, and working at this job now, where there's I think I started with 2 or 3 other developers. Now we're up to 10. Some of the people I work with are some of the most incredible people in terms of like web development stuff like that. They can solve problems like it just immediately. They see the problem, they immediately have a solution. Their brain works in a way that I want to be able to one day work in. Their problem solving incredible. A couple of people I work with just live and breed code. They work all day on code. They go home and they work on open source projects. They're so passionate about it. It's just incredible. And I like writing code. I aspire to be that way. I don't spend as much time as they do on my off time writing code as I'd like to sometimes, but you got to manage it, you know?
Management's tough. I'll be the first person to tell you that. Management is definitely not easy. But the cool thing about your story is that it doesn't sound like you're necessarily a manager. It sounds like you're more or less like a positive influence to them, and you're kind of pushing them to kind of, hey, it's all right to go and do your own thing, you
Oh, for
know?
sure. I forgot about the first part of the question. I'm sorry you did ask me about that.
No, it's all good.
I was so interested in talking about some of the people I work with because they do inspire me as well. But at my job, it's great because we have an environment where we meet every couple of weeks. We talk about what we need to work on and how to get there. So it's very kind of open forum. We have we use Slack and we have a channels where we go back and forth throughout the day, problem solving, bouncing ideas off of each other. So it's a great environment to work in. Definitely improved a lot as a developer myself. Uh, we've enforced our own code standards. We do a lot of stuff to help each other. We do code reviews, like try to make each other better developers while improving ourselves as well. I think that's very important. Certainly for me it has been, because I don't even think I could figure out some of the code I wrote 8 years ago.
Management's tough, dude. And it's cool to see that you've raised a staff of 10. I mean, I know what that feels like. It's a huge feeling, and it's an accomplishment in its own self. You know what I mean?
It's great to be a part of that team, for sure.
Yeah, and the pride thing's definitely, you have to be a positive force, and when you're able to do that, and you're able to provide knowledge to somebody who didn't necessarily understand or know something, and they're open to it, that's an even better feeling.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it is. It's great. I mean, I feel like the whole web development world is built around that. It's very open. I've always been a big fan of like Stack Overflow, stuff like that. It's kind of the way I learned when I first started out, and I feel like it's important to share that information with each other. That way everybody can get better. If you just write code in your own bubble, you're going to write terrible code. I did that myself when I was starting out, so.
Have you ever came across bad management?
I mean, for sure, like it happens. Just more in the sense that it's not wanting to maybe look at new technologies that are coming up because you think you know better. I've worked with people like that in the past who didn't want to adopt new technologies even after they'd been out for 5 or 6 years because they felt like they didn't want to move to something and have it fail, which is something that can happen in this industry. But now things move so fast. It's like something comes out and we want to jump ship right away. But sometimes that's not the best idea because it doesn't get supported, or you never know. Early adopter is tough. Being an early adopter is tough, rather.
Mark, two-part question.
Sure.
Do you feel working with developers that are better than you is intimidating, or do you think it brings up your own coding and it makes you a better web developer?
I think the answer is yes to both. It definitely is intimidating. It can be intimidating. It doesn't have to be, but in my case, when I first started working with some people, it's hard because they're remote. And that makes it very tough, especially if your only communication with people is through chat. I had one developer I was working with for a couple of weeks who I thought was the biggest jerk. Like, I did not want to work with this guy. I thought he was, like, being arrogant. I talked to him on the phone, and it was completely different. Like, it's hard to describe. I don't know. I think that's just my own, like, that was my own take on it, too. Like, I try to be
that's how you were
better
reading
about that
into it.
now. I've definitely learned from that. But it's hard, there can be challenges. But it's definitely, depending on who the people are, it doesn't have to be intimidating. You should look at it as a way to ask questions, at least if the people you're working with are open to that kind of thing, which in a good environment they should be.
Excellent.
Beautifully put.
And then, what do you think your biggest challenge is as a web developer? Is that keeping up with the times? Is it, hitting your project goal time? What do you think the biggest obstacle for you is?
Anything project management related, like, I can write code all day, but if I have to go into Jira, which is a time tracking program, and log time on timesheets and manage all these cards with like little individual features and move them around, and every time I make a change I got to go in there and move 3 cards. That to me is the most frustrating part. I just like to be able to do what I need to do and get it done and not have to jump through all these bureaucratic hoops.
Bureaucracy sucks.
Yeah.
So I have a question for both of you.
Shoot.
Did you watch the latest episode of Game of Thrones?
Of course I did.
Yes,
Of
yes.
course, yes, multiple times.
Oh,
Me too, Mark.
Excellent. Excellent.
Hey, I only have one thing to say about this episode.
I hope there's more, but good.
Arya, sex scene? Question mark? Question mark? Question mark?
It was awkward.
It was, but
totally.
I
It's definitely awkward.
saw something, and it blew my mind a little bit, and it said, who did Arya talk to before Gendry? The Hound. She was sitting up right next to him. She knew what she was going to do that night. She was drinking, but she got jammed up by the no-eyed, or the one-eyed,
Right, yeah, that's a
one-eyed
good point.
reviver. So I think she was just going to get it done with the Hound.
Do you
Ah!
think the red brought him back 18
Ew.
times just to be a cock block?
That was the reason.
Ew,
19
gross.
times.
Can I say that? Sorry, I don't know.
No, yeah, it's free reign here.
Hey, but the Hound was still on her list, so she probably would have slit his throat mid-orgasm.
when she was done or whatever. But
That
it's so
would've been
weird
funny as
because
hell.
when Arya first started, she was so young. So it's tough. It's a little tough to see her like that.
Yeah,
You know,
I definitely Googled her age immediately after that scene. I was like, all right, we're good, but that was still weird.
right?
Was she 19?
She's 22.
Oh, all right.
Amen. Good for her. They were
Um,
tight. Everything looked tight there. Yeah, no problem.
There's like a little nipplegate going on as to whether it was digitally rendered or not.
Yeah, no, it wasn't digitally rendered. 'Cause I would've thought more
Nipplegate.
nipple. I focused really hard. I'm telling you.
I checked it on multiple monitors. No.
Enhance.
You guys are
I
bad.
need to get the software they're using.
It
Right.
out. Cut it out, folks, please.
All right. Other things that happened. The knighting of Lady Brienne.
Yeah,
I
it's
loved
one of
it.
my favorite parts of the episode.
I thought that was wonderful. I really thought it
the
was
song
wonderful.
was great.
Oh, yeah, Podrick coming through.
Podrick, what size is his Podrick's dick?
Wow.
Oh, dude, Podrick's hung and strung. Dude, he actually has cases where he goes out and girls just grope him.
He did get it. Like, didn't you have a scene where they gave it? They comped him or whatever.
Yeah, he's like, oh, you don't have to
In the-
pay.
yeah.
Brothel?
Yeah.
No, but literally middle-aged to older-aged women grope him in public.
Oh, wow.
In real life?
In real life, I was.
It's a heavy cross to bear.
I've read.
Poor
Wow.
Mother.
I've
Wow.
read multiple articles where Podrick is getting groped, but fortunately, it hasn't happened recently.
Yeah.
But because he kind of put a stop to it, he was just like, "Yeah, bitch." He kind of
Right,
pulled
yeah.
you know what I mean? He's just like, "I'm done." Like,
I feel like you have to at some point. I mean, you can't
Wow.
be having that.
I mean, if I was in J.C. Penney, just hanging out, and some girl just fucking grabbed my junk and be like, "Yo, what's up? Changing rooms are over there. Let's go." I got the camera.
All right, so I have a question. Have you
Go for
guys
it.
heard that Vegas is taking gambling odds on things happening in Game of Thrones? Will Arya wear Littlefinger's face? Will Cersei have a
Definitely something
baby?
I've been saying forever.
How
She's
many
gonna do that. But
how many people will Arya kill? Over under.
I feel like that's. I don't know. I feel like that's a bit of a gray area because don't they already know, or somebody knows the outcome already?
Right.
Hey, I got a
yeah.
question for you guys.
What's that?
So the conversation that Arya had with Podrick inside of his blacksmith shop, where she was throwing the knives and
Gendry.
stuff.
That's Gendry,
What?
right? That's Gendry.
Gendry. Okay, I'm sorry. So the conversation she had with him inside his shop, where she said, "Oh, I know death. I can't wait to see his face again," or whatever.
Right.
What if Arya steals the face of the head Nightwalker?
The Night King?
What if she steals the face of the Night King?
Well, she'd have to kill him to get it. Is that correct?
I think so.
Yeah.
But what if she does it on the sly, steals his face, and directs everybody in the direction opposite of what they're supposed to do?
Well, the theory behind it is if the Night King dies, everybody he raised dies, which technically is everybody. So
But
if she kills
Arya
him, every
becomes
White
him,
Walker.
he doesn't die. They still believe it's still him.
I don't know, Mark. What do you think?
I don't know. You'd have to. I'd imagine they might die, like, because he'd have to die for her to take his face.
Right.
Yeah. Right. I don't know. I don't know how she takes faces. I guess she could probably take somebody's face without them dying. It'd be very painful.
Yeah.
Bolton's
Very
probably going to help her
But
with
no,
that.
I think
But
I think all the White Walkers would die if he died.
yeah, I think so too. But I'm not too sure. They haven't really talked too much about that, from what I remember in the lore.
Yeah, and even Bran doesn't know too much. I mean, he's supposed to know everything. Come on,
Right. Like
Bran.
he's like, I don't know if dragons kill him. Like, come on, man. You should know that.
Right. Let's search through everybody's memory in the entire world and history. See what we got.
And what you got was Jon Snow telling Daenerys Targaryen that he was her nephew.
Yeah, I like how she got hung up on the point that he has more claim to the throne than her. Not the fact that they're related,
Right,
but the
and then
fact
they spent
that
a week on a boat banging each other the whole
right,
time.
just smashing. But the fact that he has more claim to the throne, I think she was more mad about that than the fact that
Hey, what,
Right,
yeah.
what do you
Going
what
on.
do you guys think that's gonna happen in the crypts? What's gonna happen down there? Because they keep bringing it up. Oh, we'll be
Right,
in the
yeah.
crypt. Like, what's gonna happen? Do you
And
think
they
that
keep.
the statues are gonna come alive when the Nightwalkers come through, or what?
I think it's a strong possibility. And you're right, they keep prefacing it with, "It's the safest place."
Exactly. Like,
right.
what? No, it's not, bitch. Get out. Get
Um,
out. Run.
I saw a drawing of Tormund when he was 10 years old, suckling at the teat of a giant. Someone put it
Oh
on Reddit.
gosh.
Hilarious, because that whole story was wicked funny, and then him drinking out of the thing and just glug, 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 glug.
Hey guys,
Yeah.
I'm gonna bring
Hilarious.
up the lyrics to that song that Podrick sang, and I'm gonna sing it. I hope you don't mind.
No, no, no.
I
It's a real song, isn't it?
yeah.
I believe it. They said it was in the books, like the first verse was, and then they think they continued it. But they've been using it at multiple parts. I was reading something about it where they've used it
I'm just
when
googling the
Brienne and
song that
Jamie met
Podrick sang.
before.
The song that Podrick sang. I didn't type lyrics after that,
Oh,
but
that's a different song, all right. I did get it mixed up. That is a song in the books, but it's just the first verse, if I remember correctly.
dang, that's some deep stuff, Mark. You've read them?
Mark is a book
I've
reader.
read the
Yep.
books, but that one they talk about in the after the episode. If you watch through the credits, they mention the song is from the books, at least the first verses, and then they had somebody finish the song, writing the song.
All right. Well, I'm gonna sing the first verse if you guys don't mind.
Go for it.
High in the hill of the king who are gone, Jenny would dance with her gold, the one she had lost, and the one she had found, and the ones who had loved her the most, the ones who'd been gone for so very long. She couldn't remember their name. They spun her around on the dumb old stone. They spun away all her sorrow and pain. She never wanted to leave. Never wanted to leave. She never wanted to leave. That's it. Thank you. Thank
Amazing.
you. Thank you.
That was good.
It is
I
a
would,
beautiful song. I definitely teared up a little bit during the episode.
You know what I teared up more at, Mark? When they pulled the credits and had the original version play, I was like,
Oh yeah,
the
yeah,
original
for sure.
version was way better than Podrick's version. The chick singing it and stuff, like she hit
yeah,
the notes. But still, it had a meaning. I don't know what the meaning was. We'll find out soon enough, I guess. You know. She never wanted to leave. Who never wanted to leave, man?
I don't know. During the episode, Grey Worm was leaving. He didn't look like he wanted to leave.
yeah,
But
well, he's got
But a
that.
lot of them were leaving. Jorah too.
never wanted
Which
to
Jorah is
leave.
definitely on my list of top ones who's probably dead.
Yeah, I think him vouching for Tyrion was his swan song. And I was just gonna
and then Sam's like, "Oh, I'll come find you afterwards."
right,
He didn't
but
say that,
but really, good luck, and here's my sword.
right, yeah. Take as many as you can. He better get an epic death scene.
Oh yeah, like swing wielding the sword, taking out like tons before he goes down.
Oh my gosh, that would be awesome.
That's how he has to go. I like how he was fighting with the tiny Mormont. What's her name?
Oh, the little
Ooh.
bear. I can't remember her actual name.
I have
Yeah,
a question for you guys.
she's such a BA.
I have a question.
What's the question?
Okay, so who's the chubby guy in Game of Thrones who's married
Samwell
to the girl?
Tully.
Huh?
Samwell Tully.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Who's in the library?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
The scene where he gives his sword to Jara?
Yes.
Okay. The scene where he gives his sword to Jara, and he's like, your father taught me everything I know. Like, can you guys explain that into, like, what you think what was going on there? Or, because I really,
So
I'd love to hear it. I really would.
So, Jorah Mormont's dad was in the Night's Watch, as was Samwell and Jon Snow. And, he taught him how to use a sword. He, just showed him life on the wall. Taking the black. So I think... Because Sam, he obviously didn't like living with his dad, and he wasn't going to do that,
but
so...
when he stole that sword, he had intention to give it away. He never wanted to use it. And that's what confuses me. It's like, can he see the future just like Bran? But nobody knows yet.
I don't know. I think he's just really smart, and maybe he foresaw a situation such as that he could have done that, or maybe he could have gave it to Jon. Valerian steel takes out White Walkers, so
A hot knife through butter.
yeah. So his future thought, his forethought was very good there, and I think that was just the perfect moment for that to happen.
Yeah, I think it's just they're rushing a lot of stuff. It's kind of a side effect of them trying to finish the show up and wrap everything up with a neat bow. They have to keep having these scenes. It was weird that the scene is like him talking to Little Bear and then it transitions to Sam. It's like there could have been two scenes spaced apart more, but they're just like shoving all this stuff together.
Yeah, well,
here's
kind of
a
feels a little ham-fisted.
I agree, and it feels rushed. And you know what? I'm going to tell you the best season of any show that I've ever seen, and that's True Detectives season 1.
Oof.
The best first season, one season show that I've ever seen, and I will rewatch it and rewatch it and rewatch it over and over again. You know why?
I agree.
Because it was done beautifully and masterfully, and I don't know what they were smoking or drinking when they were making this show, but they did it right. And I really feel like Game of Thrones is... I don't want to smash them. I don't. I really, really don't, man. But it's just not holding my interest like it did. This isn't the ending I was expecting, And it kind of tears my heart up a little bit.
I felt that way the past couple of seasons, but I read the books multiple times, and ever since they started diverting, I've kind of not felt that way. But I thought at first it was kind of just them moving away from the show, and I've gotten over that. Like, I can see why they do. There's so many characters in the books, it'd be impossible to fit them all in the show. But with this last season, I do feel like they are like really rushing things, and I can understand why, and I'm not like banging on them for it, but I definitely would like to see some of these characters have a little more time on the screen.
Thank you. Thank you. That's all that I was trying to say, and it's kind of heartbreaking only because I feel like they're focusing a little too much on Jamie when Jamie he's really not a part of it anymore because his sister kind of owns him. He's just helping out, you know what I mean?
I feel like his arc is like kind of completed too, because he's like definitely moved away from the character who's like more controlled by his sister. But it's just like it's taken so long, and like they did this beautiful arc with him and Brienne, and now like in the end they're like rushing it. Like, they've spent 4 seasons doing it, and now they're like, get it done.
When they were planning the attack, and Bran goes, "The things we do for love," I laughed so hard. That was like such a perfect moment. But you're right. His character arc is complete. You know what I mean? He went from, pushing kids out the window for his family to leaving his sister in the dust. I'm sure the whole Euron Greyjoy thing rubbed him the wrong way too.
I got something to say.
What's up?
When they were all standing around the table planning for the attack, it literally only took 2 minutes to plan the attack.
Right, yeah.
On the toughest battle where you're gonna die. Like, you could have at least given it 10 minutes. You know what I mean?
They all get in the room and they're like, oh, I got this. This
Yeah.
is what we're going to do. Like,
What? Come on, man.
Well,
Come on.
and I mean, a while ago they were preaching over an hour episode. Every episode's going to be over an hour.
I
1
thought
and
that
2,
every episode was going to be a movie.
not
An hour and
over,
54 minutes.
not over an hour. Not both
it's an
episodes
hour
have
and
not.
8 minutes with the credits and the 5-minute thing that they do at the end of the episode explaining what they did in that episode.
Yeah, but that doesn't
Horrible.
count.
Horrible.
You can't
No,
count
it
that.
doesn't count. That's what I'm saying. It doesn't count.
Yeah.
But the next episode has been described as the Helm's Deep of episodes.
Wow,
let me guess.
that's a bold prediction.
What's going on? Oh.
Well,
Apparently,
you
it's
know
just
what?
a huge battle.
yeah, it's going to be the battle. Yeah, for sure.
Them. Good for their battle. You know what? What it comes down to is they didn't build the battle up enough. Like, I'm not anticipating a battle right now. What I'm anticipating is Arya fucking having fucking pillow talk with fucking goddamn Gentry.
Right, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, what the hell, dude? Like, what's the all they showed was, I'm not gonna pull your pants down for you. I'm not the Red Witch. And then all of a sudden, something happened, and then you see her kind of smirk a little bit. Like, what the fuck?
Right. Like you said, I'm definitely more interested in. I'm not even really interested in what they do with the Whites. I guess I'm more interested in finding out what they do with Cersei and stuff like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
They haven't
I don't know
shown
where I'm
her
at.
at all. The last episode, Cersei was extinct. Extinct.
Yeah. Just gonna interlude and say, any of our viewers who want to watch, who watch Game of Thrones and want to call in with a question or a comment or a theory, feel free. Our number is right at the bottom of the of the screen. Give us a call, and we'll answer it live on the air. Currently, only I'll be able to hear it, and I'll relay your question to the other co-hosts. But until next week, when hopefully I get that fixed. Also, any sound engineers, if you want to email the sibscast@gmail.com and help me out with a quick question, that'd be awesome too.
I do have a question for you, though, man.
Yeah.
So, Game of Thrones this week, there was that young... Who is that young... I'd say she's like a queen. She was... but one of the older gentleman with the beard stands as stout all the time. He talks like this. He was there for the burning with the... I don't know. The burning of the fake children.
Sir Davos?
Yeah,
oh
okay,
my
yeah,
gosh!
yeah.
Oh!
When that young girl talked to him and she was like, no, I'm going to fight with him.
Oh! She
Who
looked
is
like...
she?
Well, she's nobody, but she looked like Stannis Baratheon's daughter. Yes, thank you.
No, not the girl with the burnt face.
Oh, that was Gilly, the other girl.
Oh, Gilly, that's Samwell. That's Samwell's girl. Yeah.
She is a tough cookie.
Yeah, well, she...
Oh my goodness.
I liked her, the actress in Skins as well. I don't know if you ever watched Skins.
Oh, she was the crazy one, right? She was
Yeah,
kind of
she
loopy.
is.
Yeah, she was good in that. That was a good show.
Like the original English Skins?
Yeah.
Britain?
Yeah, the Gendry's from Skins too. A lot of the characters are from Skins.
No kidding.
Oh,
That
I
was
didn't
one of
know.
my favorite shows.
If you go back and watch Skins, like 3 or 4 of the characters are on Game of Thrones at some point.
What?
A couple of them
Interesting.
are still alive, yeah.
That's amazing. Skins was an awesome
Yeah,
show.
season 1 and 2 is good. I didn't like when it went to Tommy's sister. Or
When they
whatever.
went to the field trip? When they went on the field trip?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, when they went on that field, was it to Russia?
Yeah, something like that.
They went
yeah.
on the field trip to Russia and shit went down.
I definitely derailed the conversation, sorry.
Sorry, but that show was just like,
It
Dude,
was
I was
good.
like 11 years old watching that, and I was like, what the hell is going
Right,
on?
yeah.
I need to step my game up, man.
I want to go to England. Damn. Like, what the
Yeah.
fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah, seriously, Pink Floyd came out. All the best bands have come out of England. Led Zeppelin, whatever, all of them.
Yeah, a lot of them for sure.
So I have an interesting story for you guys. Something about my past. Some
Okay.
story that's not necessarily my story, but it's somebody else's story. Can I tell it, or is that cool?
Sure.
So this one time I was at work, and it was probably about 6:25 in the morning, and I was a butcher at the time. And I was the butcher assistant, and I had a head butcher, and he was a great guy, a great person. Not very many people are like him in this world, I can tell you that. But he told me this. This is what happened to him. Him and his wife were on their honeymoon in California on the coast. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And they rented a vehicle. They flew out to San Diego. And she said to him, we're going to ride all the way to the north coast of California in this convertible all along the coast. That was their honeymoon. They rent a convertible and they drive across the California coast. I think that's beautiful. But
Yeah.
For sure, yeah.
so they stop at this place in San Francisco. This is the early 1980s. Bob and Betsy stop at a coffee shop in San Francisco. They're sitting at this table. They're drinking their coffee. They have their biscuit. I don't know what they were eating. I'm pretty sure it was like a croissant with some eggs, whatever. So all of a sudden a van pulls up. Boom. Stops. The door opens. Bob's like, what the hell's going on? Some dude stumbles out of the van, right? Just stumbling away, trying to figure out what's going on, takes a look around and says, all right, man. Waves his finger and says, yeah, let's do this. Yeah. All of a sudden, you see two guys carry out an organ. They set up the organ, they plug it into the van, and this dude hits the power button, and it goes dun 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 dun. All of a sudden, a guy walks out with a bass guitar, and it just goes. And then all of a sudden, this next guy stumbles out with a microphone and says, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, now touch me, baby. Can't you see that I'm not afraid? Right? And this is the Doors in 1981 at a cafe in San Francisco, high as fuck, stumbling out of a minivan, playing to the public for no reason other than testing their limits. How fucked up can they get before they can call it quits? And he listened to their show, and they played 6 songs, got back in the van, and drove somewhere else and did the same exact thing. The Doors is one of the greatest bands alive. And I don't know, man. I really feel like there was something that Jim Morrison was saying and that we still don't understand.
Very possible.
Man, you got Jim Morrison, you got Stevie Ray Vaughan, you got Jimi Hendrix, you got Pink Floyd, you got Led Zeppelin, you got B.B. King. Oh my gosh, there's so many musicians that just bleed sorrow, bleed pain, but also bleed happiness and bring satisfaction to the listener. What kind of music do you hear now that brings the same thing? There's nothing. All it is just a beat. That's all it is. It's just that beat. Boom, 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 boom. That workout beat. You know what I mean? Every song I listen to now it's just like, yeah, I could listen to this on a treadmill at Workout World. You know? What the fuck?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
You know what I mean? Like,
it's like formulaic, or they found a thing that works and they just keep using the same thing.
It's a regenerated something, and I can't figure it out. But I still listen to it. I'm not going to lie. I'm still down, whatever. But let's get a little more creative, people. Let's bring out the sunshine in the mind. Why aren't we using that? Why aren't
Well,
we utilizing our minds more than statistics and generated algorithms?
well, I think it's the same thing that's happening in Hollywood. The people don't want to take risks because risks cost money.
They
and
just keep remaking and remaking and
yeah, well,
remaking and remaking.
that's what people pay for. That's what people go to concert for. That's
Dude,
what makes
as soon as
money.
I saw the new Jumanji, I knew it was over. I knew it was over. I didn't even want Jumanji 1.
Right, well, it's in a league of its own.
You can't
But
touch Jumanji 1.
I feel like they should just stop trying to remake movies that had Robin Williams in them, because it's just not gonna
well,
happen.
yeah, you're never gonna touch what Robin Williams did.
Yeah,
Like,
they
I
better
have
not.
nothing against Will Smith, but I do not want him as the genie. Like,
Hey, man,
It's not gonna work.
Patch Adams? Are you kidding me?
Classic.
Patch Adams, the
Classic.
greatest Robin Williams movie ever. You walk into a giant vagina into the auditorium.
He was
He was
a legend.
genius.
A legend.
He was a genius.
Even some of his stand-up, I could still watch and just
oh,
laugh
yeah,
and
He
laugh and
sweat
laugh.
like a mother, huh?
Him on Whose Line Is It Anyway is some of the funniest shit too.
Oh, I don't think I've seen too many of those. I'll have to catch those.
Whose line is it anyway? I love Whose Line Is It Anyway. Hey, we used to have this old this little portable TV that you plugged a little 9-volt battery plug into, and it would catch like satellite TV, whatever. So I plugged the antenna, and when I was a kid, I was like 5 or 6 years old. I would tune into channel 6 with the little dial, and hope to catch Whose Line Is It Anyway every other night, whatever. But man, was that show special!
Oh, they were all so funny. Drew Carey as the host was so good.
Smiley face cup. What's his name there?
Wayne Brady.
Thank you. And get a little cup from you. Forever and ever, you'll be my friend, and I will drink you. When he was doing those commercials, I knew he was desperate. I was like, oh, this is not working out. And then he got, what is it, The Price is Right? No, what is he doing now?
Let's Make a Deal.
Let's Make a Deal. He's killing it on
I know, man.
daytime radio. Killing it. Or TV, excuse me.
Daytime TV.
But still,
Happy for Wayne Brady. He
me
deserves
too.
it.
He is funny.
He's like a triple threat. He can sing, he can dance.
Yes,
Yeah,
he can do
he's
it
good at all.
And he's good looking. He's good at all.
Mark.
Thank you for bringing that up. That is awesome, dude. The triple threat. Wayne Brady.
Mark, how was your Easter?
Go, Brian, go.
Mark, how was your Easter?
Oh, it was good, thank you. Just did dinner with the family, hung out. How was yours?
Awesome. Well, we did like a dinner Monday night. If you rewatch the podcast, we had a little video tour of our thing when we first started. Matt, so I think your audio was cut in the beginning, so we missed all your shout outs. So I'm going to let you redo them right now because I think they were so good, and I really want to support other indie podcasters so that we can get some support too and just make the whole indie podcast world go round. So take it away, bud.
I'd love to give a shout out to any podcast with Joe B and Billy C, the headline hunters. I'd also love to give a shout out to the top 5 podcasts, top 5 podcasts for responding to us on Twitter. You guys are amazing. You guys are awesome. You ask the questions we want to hear. And next up, I'd love to give it up to Unbelievably Stupid Podcast, only because they're exceptionally smart. Weird, right? Their title's Unbelievably Stupid, but they're actually very smart. So you should probably follow them, and you should probably follow us, and also Top 5 Podcast, and NE Podcast, and also Battle Chats. Battle Chats, the Big B podcast. Battle Chats is going to give you everything you want to hear in 10 to 15 minutes. They will satisfy you and gratify you until you are full of knowledge. So, those are my shout-outs for this week. And if anybody wants to be involved in the shout-outs for next week, please DM us, and we'll be happy to respond. And if you qualify for the standing position, I will be happy to do it.
And our Twitter handle at CastSibs. You can DM us there. I just linked it at the bottom of the video podcast. So definitely reach out to us there.
Hey, I'd really like to ask one more question to Mark, if you don't mind.
Oh, of course, shoot. What's up?
All right. Hey, Mark. So Brian's really into video games. You're really into video games. I'd really like for you to discuss, what's going on, what's current, what direction do you feel like the video game world is going in, and how do you feel about it? Can you give me like a minute break? I'm going to step off for a minute, but you two discuss what you got to talk about.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
All right.
All right. So talk video game talk right now. Let's go. Go!
All right, I'm starting.
Go for it.
Unfortunately, the direction I feel like the video game world is going in right now is a circle around the toilet. There's a lot of great games going on, I'll be honest, but there are unfortunately some things going on in the industry where corporate greed is just an unfortunate reality and is causing a lot of problems. I won't name any specific companies, but you know them, I'm sure.
Yeah, they're well-known companies, but yeah, they're
yes.
some pretty shisty business practices right now.
Yeah, the games I've been playing, I mean, not to give a shout out to one of these companies, but Apex Legends is actually pretty fun. I've been playing it with my buddies quite a bit, and I've been playing World War Z, although I had to buy it on that game store, Epic, which also didn't feel too positive about, but what are you going to do? Anyway, other than that, I've been playing, I don't really know,
we've been playing For the King.
Oh, For the King, yeah, we were playing that too. I actually like that a lot. That's a game I could talk about.
Me too.
Let's talk about that then.
Yeah,
it's an indie developer that we can definitely get behind.
Yeah. Excellent. What? I don't know. Are they Iron Oak? That's a little symbol that comes up in the beginning. I'll have to check that later. But yeah, so we've been playing it. I kind of talked about it a little bit last week when I was waiting for Matt to get on. And anybody who watched last week's, Marc is the friend who I play this game with, so you have him here live, so we can definitely talk about it a little more in depth. You get 3 characters. You can choose between different classes. You move on a hexagonal map, and then you have to, depending on like the map type or the mission type, complete different objectives. It's turn-based. There are random events that can happen, positive and negative. And we have a lot of fun playing it. Marc, what can you add to that?
I think you said it very well. I definitely enjoy the game. I like the way that it's like turn-based, like you said, and if one of us gets busy with something, we can just stop playing and not have to worry about, pissing anybody off who's playing with us, because we're AFK for 5 minutes or whatever.
Right.
And it's nice, like, it's cool how the only thing I wish that they did was like with the multiplayer where you could choose to both control that character, like the character that neither of us is.
Right.
Because
Yes.
I feel like I don't like taking control of 2 characters and then it's like you get that one character. I'm gonna use these 2.
Right. I control these 2.
Yeah. But
yeah.
other than that, the game's a lot of fun. I love the mechanics. I like the way that it works. I'd be more interested to see like how it scales with like 2 players versus 3. Because the first time we played, we tried to play with only 2 people instead of 3, and I was noticing it seemed to never give us mobs of 3.
Right.
I don't know if you noticed that, but the boss fights, they didn't scale those down, because the only times we fought 3 people instead of 2 was at the boss fights. I hope
we got our
I'm
butts
probably
kicked.
explaining it badly for anybody who hasn't played this game.
Yeah, so normally you'd have 3 characters. If 2 people play online, you can have a third NPC, and then one of those players will control both. So last time that was Marc. And I played with 1, but the first time around we each just picked 1 character, and yeah, we got our butts kicked on the boss fights. We were just starting and learning how to play, so that probably had somewhat of a factor, and we probably didn't pick the 2 best characters to synergize with for 2 players. So one thing about this game is there's not a ton of info out there. You really gotta search for it. They have a wiki, which is great, and they do have a subreddit. But yeah, finding anything on YouTube is very scarce for
There's
info.
a Discord as well, apparently. I think when you start the game, it mentions it, but I haven't used it personally.
Mm.
But it might be a good way to find games. That's usually the way I use Discord. That's how I use it in like Sea of Thieves. Their Discord's incredible for that. Like it's basically on Windows. It's there looking for group.
Oh, really?
Hey,
Yeah, their
can
Discord's pretty good.
can I interrupt you guys for a second?
Sure.
So I just had one of the best deliveries to the door that's happened to me in a long time. You guys want to hear about it or what?
Yeah.
So I've had this watch for about, I'd say, 11 years of my life. 11 years.
Yep.
This was in my senior picture from high school. It was on my wrist, whatever. I love it, and it's my old reliable. It's actually our cousins made it, and that's Marcus and Gordon Gendron. They're looking to be starting up a podcast soon, and they changed the crystal on it. They changed the battery. They made sure everything was all set. Everything was nice. They're just unbelievable jewelers, and I really want to promote them because they're going to be coming out soon, and I can't wait for them to join the podcast community because it's so amazing, and they're so talented at what they do. They are some of the most expert jewelers. It's been passed down from generation to generation, and I really want the world to listen and hear what they can offer to them, because not many people will be able to appreciate it, but I'm here for them, and I can't wait for them to start up their podcast. The watch looks beautiful. Thank you, guys. This is amazing.
I can agree. They do
Thank you.
phenomenal work and very professional, very talented. Like they've been doing it essentially their whole lives, so they're very good at it.
120 years of service.
So yeah. What else? Do we have anything else on the agenda?
Actually, I do have one more question for you both.
Sure.
How was the video game talk? I was away for it.
It was good.
Man.
I think
good.
I think we nailed it. We went really big general, and then we went down to one of the games we play and got into it, and we had a lot of fun. Good combo.
You did say it was Iron Oak Games is the studio. It's on Steam.
Iron Oak. Thank you.
All right, one last question, and that'll be it for me. Would you rather play a scratch ticket or put a couple quarters in one of those little toy dispensers?
That's a good question. Lately,
great
probably the
question.
toy dispenser because I know I'm always going to get something.
Exactly. Thank
I mean,
you.
I'm a scratch ticket kind of guy.
Are you?
So yeah, I think I'd gamble it. Risk it for the biscuit.
Normally I'd agree, but I've not had great luck with scratch tickets. I only have good luck with scratch tickets when I get them like for Christmas or something like that. You know,
All right.
a gift. Like
You guys
Yankee
are funny.
swaps. I've had the best luck with scratch tickets from Yankee swaps. Although my family has banned them from Yankee swaps because it
Why?
got so insane.
Oh, it got intense.
Yeah, people were like creating weird shapes and hiding them. Like they were finding ways to disguise that they were lottery tickets, and it was just getting so insane. Like every gift had lottery tickets one year. It was like no more lottery tickets. We just gotta ban them.
Oh
You
man.
guys have to ban lottery tickets?
Yeah, we had to ban lottery tickets from our family Yankee swaps.
To be a fly on the wall of that
Hey,
one.
so what was
Yeah.
what was the highest dollar amount that the lottery tickets ever got up to for wins?
Well, for wins, I don't actually know. I know I had one that was 125,
Well, that's a good one.
which is pretty good when you didn't pay
That's
anything.
solid, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like I won on like two of them. I think one was like $100 or something like that, and the other one was 20. I don't remember, but yeah, it was pretty good. That's the best win I've had. But like I said, I don't buy a lot of lottery tickets, so
Hey, every paycheck I buy a $20 lottery ticket.
yeah.
So I've won 150, I've won 300, I've won nothing. I'm probably every paycheck you get a $20 scratch off, and once every 3 times you're gonna win your money back or more.
Yeah.
So I'm probably positive like $900.
That's pretty good, yeah.
and scratch offs.
That's
So,
some quick math.
Don't what?
I said that's some quick math.
I'm just saying, like, every paycheck you get, just go and buy a $20 scratch off.
Is that fuzzy math I keep hearing about?
Yeah.
No, I'm just saying.
You know, this is not professional or legal advice to all our viewers. This is just
Hey, it's
not
investment
professional.
advice. It's investment.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
redneck
It's not
investment.
professional.
Right.
Disclaimer.
It'd be the black mallard duck would be the one giving the advice if this was a meme.
That is correct.
Mark, you're bad. You're bad.
Speaking of, I think the memes that are coming out of Game of Thrones are absolutely hilarious. So if you could tweet them at us or email them, because
Please
literally
do.
they make
We're
us
so ready.
so happy, and I find them absolutely hilarious. So if you send them to us, that would be really great. At Cast Sibs on Twitter. We have our own subreddit /r/the Sibs Cast. We got the Sibs Cast at gmail.com. And
phone number.
Ooh, I really thought we were gonna get a phone call. We have 4 concurrent viewers.
That's amazing.
That is 4 times our usual.
Woo!
So that's really good. We 400%
awesome.
more viewers. So that's great. No call-ins yet, but
I love you, viewers.
I think we're going to be gaining traction for sure. We're definitely hitting the social meds a lot harder. And I think
my job. You told me what I needed to do, and I did it, man.
Yeah. And we're doing shout-outs to other
I'm
podcasts.
Here for the family.
Maybe, we'll get some shout-outs too. Start growing this thing organically.
Can't wait. Can't wait.
But
no pesticides.
Taking some calls live is definitely something we're looking forward to. And the line is open, and we're just gonna rock and roll. We kind of want this to be like a conversation.
Still going, dude. We're still going.
Conversation with
now. We're rocking it. It's only been an hour and 3 minutes. I can go for another 40.
Yeah. We keep them around an hour. We'll go a little bit more. But
right.
we don't want to.
No, I'm having fun. I like it.
Yeah.
Cool, man. Me too. This is amazing. Honestly, what it all comes down to is just what gives you excitement, what gives you adrenaline. Like, this is giving me so much adrenaline. It's awesome.
Yeah, and this is going to be every week, 8 o'clock. That might change eventually.
Hell no. The See You Next Tuesday logo is getting us a lot of hits.
Well, I'm just saying, if Megan wants to come back on the show.
You're saying, but I'm saying, see you next Tuesday.
I think that is
live at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, the Sibs Cast.
It's slightly vulgar, but that's me.
Works, baby.
You have my opinion.
Right,
you have my opinion.
Hey, you watched that show that we were just talking about? Mark, help me out with the name of it.
Oh.
Skins.
No, the one in England.
Skins.
Oh.
Yeah.
Skins.
Yeah.
Sorry,
They drop the C-bomb all the time. The See You Next Tuesdays.
Right.
Probably,
that is. It's definitely more common.
It's just like whatever to them. Why is it not whatever to us? Like, that does not make any sense. Do you know how many times a girl has walked up to me and called another girl a C-U-N-T? A cunt?
5.
Do you know how many times? Bro, I work in a restaurant. I'm in the kitchen. I work with waitresses.
That's true.
I hear it 3 times a damn day. They use it way more than we use it, but when we say it, all of a sudden it's a problem. You know what I mean? Like, hey, back up a little bit. Okay, so I don't want to go there, but the N-bomb, some people can say the N-bomb and some people can't.
All right.
Some people can say the C-bomb and some people can't. But what the hell can we say?
Well, we have lots of words.
Like what?
I mean, no. I mean, we got the greats. We got the F word, S words. We got F words, S words. We got an A word.
No, but I want a word that we can say that nobody else can't.
I mean,
I want it, Brian.
We're inclusive. We're inclusive in our, slang and vernacular. So I think that's great. We don't need a specific word just
Hey man,
for us.
I don't judge anybody. I love everybody.
We're open
But-
and free
I'm
and
not trying to
sharing. We're
put any
sharing.
kind of prejudice on anything, and I'm really not trying to promote that. But what I'm trying to do is just trying to figure it out. That's all.
Yeah.
You know? It's pretty simple. I mean,
Unfortunately, it's a trickier subject than it should be in today's climate.
yeah, it really is, isn't it, Mark?
It is.
Like whatever.
Every day it's becoming trickier and trickier. They're like encroaching. It's like an encroaching army.
Because of the show's social needs.
Yeah.
Hey, did you guys
that
hear
contributes.
J-Lo's Lemonade album drop?
Did not.
No, I have not.
Ooh, fire.
It's fire.
Oh, Beyonce, excuse me, not J-Lo. Beyonce Lemonade album. Unbelievable. She actually does a song with the Dixie Chicks, dude.
Oh, I heard that.
Oh my.
Although the
I sent them a tweet asking if we could use it as our intro music.
what they say?
They never responded. I said, at Beyonce, at Dixie Chicks, this song's amazing. We want the rights to it.
No, that's not how you ask. You say,
Well, how
could
do
we
you ask?
could we please use this for our podcast? We think it's amazing, and we want to share it with our viewers. Something like that. You really promote it in
Either
a
way,
positive
they
light.
didn't care.
Well, what everyone I know has been going crazy for is this Lil Nas X, Old Town Road, because he did a
Ryan.
song with Billy Ray Cyrus.
Ryan,
I know.
please play the what is it? The Where's My Daddy or the something Daddy song by Beyonce and the Dixie Chicks. Just 10 seconds.
I cannot.
10 seconds. We
Cannot do it. Can't do it.
YouTube rights.
Yep. Nope.
They'll get you on like even somebody hums a
Oh,
song. Like,
we
you get close.
have a caller. We have a caller. Hold on. We have a caller. We have a caller. Hello. Thank you for calling into the Sibs Cast. How are you?
Hey, what's going on?
Not much. Do you have a question, or what would you like to talk about?
This is Ken. How you doing?
Oh, hey Ken.
I wanted to talk about the leftover Thanksgiving dinner. I thought it was fabulous. So my compliments to the chef again.
Oh, excellent. Compliments to the chef from our viewer.
Yeah, right.
Whoa, thank you so much.
And who am I
so it
talking
took
to?
a
How
lot
come
of
it's
time
not
to
coming out
prepare what I did.
live right now?
You know, it's
Oh, okay, delay.
cooking it isn't easy. You know, cooking isn't easy. You gotta be passionate. You really have to be passionate about everything you do, and that's why I'm so passionate here in this podcast. You know, it's,
That's great.
You have to be fully involved, and I'm fully involved in everything I do and everything that I want to do and try to do. So, I hope that you are the same way too.
All right, excellent. So you can next week when I fix this situation, everyone will be able to hear you, Ken. But right now, only I'm able to. But you'll be able to hear Matt's response via live on the podcast. So thank you for calling in, and thank you for being a supporter and a listener.
No problem.
That's
All right, have a good day.
isn't it, guys?
All right, so that was Ken, who came over for Easter dinner, and he wanted to give compliments to the chef for the Easter dinner. I must say, the lamb, I don't know if it's because it sat for a day or what, tasted absolutely phenomenal for
Wasn't
lunch
it
today.
beautiful?
Like, I definitely got
Or
more
hungry
flavors. Yeah, more flavors. Well, you don't have to go on Easter. We did it on a
Yeah,
Monday.
you did it on Monday. With
So
that. Come on.
you can do your family one on Sunday, come over to ours on Monday.
You know what I marinated in them though?
What was it?
Garlic and olive oil and rosemary and thyme and all these beautiful floral ingredients to suck out the bitterness of the lamb. Lamb is always bitter to me. I don't care if you're serving a French rack of lamb that's served sous vide style with hollandaise sauce. I don't care.
Well, do
I
you think
just wanna know
the mint
that
jelly
you
would counteract that?
Listen, brother, there's some cuts of meat you need to marinate.
Okay.
And there's some kinds of animals that you just need to marinate. The entire lamb creature needs to be marinated. Every part of it.
So
I don't care what you're doing, but it needs to be marinated. It's just so strong. Sometimes, I don't want to use this word, but I'm going to. Sometimes lamb taste is oblivious.
Wow,
Oblivious.
that's a bold word.
It's a bold word because it's a bold flavor. It's so strong. It can overwhelm your palate, and you can be like, what am I eating right now? If you're tasting that, then the chef's not doing it right.
Okay.
You need to penetrate the flavor with sugar and salt and fresh herbs and garlic. Like, marinating is so important with any cut of lamb. I don't even care if it's a goddamn rack of lamb. Rack of lamb is tender and moist and succulent and desired. Desired. People want rack of lamb. You go out to dinner, you're going to be spending 70, 80 bucks on a plate just for a rack of lamb. But if they don't do it right, Bri, it's not okay.
Matt, when you are waving your right hand and it is strobing your light, so I hope no viewers, if you're watching this, as a seizure warning, I'll have to put in front of this one. So we'll note that for next week.
It's not a bad thing, man. It's really it's not a bad thing. But lamb is so gamey tasting. It's almost as bad as venison. It's worse than venison. I think that venison has a more mild flavor than lamb. Lamb is pungent and strong. And you know why? Because it's farm raised. It's secluded. Venison can roam free. It just, it goes to wherever the hell it wants. And, it just runs around. The little deer's prancing around, eating the flowers that it wants and the grass that it wants, and it knows where to go. The lamb is stuck in this little box. And then, it just, takes the knife to the throat, whatever, and it's donated to the grocery store. And
we get it. We don't have the...
That's business. That's food politics. We won't get into food politics until we have a food politician on the show.
Yeah.
Which I can't wait for next week.
We have
if there's any food politicians out there who want to join the shit. Yeah, I can't wait.
All right, so...
Hey, no, before you say all right, I have one thing to say. Just one more thing.
Say it.
Yesterday on Twitter, NPR really devastated me.
How'd they do that?
They said that Blue Apron and these food delivery services has less of a carbon footprint than going to the grocery store yourself.
Wow. I'd like to see the math on that because I'm not sure I agree with that.
And I agree with you as well. Because you know why? I'm a supporter of NPR. I love National Public Radio.
Mm-hmm.
Ira Glass is the reason why I'm here today. Ira Glass, the man, This American Life, that guy. Yeah, you know who I'm talking about, listeners. You know.
They know.
He hit your soul. He tapped your spine. He made hair raise on the back of your neck at least one point or another in your life. Just like me. And Brian and Mark.
Mm-hmm.
And now they're saying this?
For sure.
Yeah, that's
I think that NPR is losing their standards, man.
Yeah, that's...
Why are you saying this?
That's just a weird thing for NPR to come on in general. Like,
why don't you support your local farmers?
Yes.
That too, but like, I didn't understand that was even the context of it, especially if it was against something like that. Like, especially.
What about your supporters, the people who donate that $70, $80 a month, that support their local farmers, that shun these delivery grocery services? I mean, come on.
For a second.
No, you're
I don't want to say. I don't even want to say who I thought it was. Let's just continue. Sorry.
It's just horrible, dude.
It is. Yeah.
I love NPR. I love National Public Radio. I
listen to them all the time, actually.
Cars Talk, whatever, dude. All the old school stuff, the new school stuff. It's amazing. Ira Glass is the best producer I've ever heard on any podcast.
I've been listening to them a lot more. I actually switched from what my local radio usually is. I forget what they even are.
Did you listen to Serial Season 3?
No, not yet.
Oh my gosh, dude!
I'll have to check it out.
It's all about Ohio and Cleveland and all the dude. So Just deep breaths, man. Deep breaths. Okay, so Cleveland, Ohio has some really cool people. You know how Providence has the Judge of Providence thing?
Yeah.
Cleveland has an even better judge than what we have here. You know that caught in Providence thing? No. That's no good. Cleveland's judge, even better. He's cooler. He's smarter. He's wittier. This judge is 2019, dude. 2019. He's like, oh, so you got a family? So let's just say, hypothetically, there's a dude who walks into the courthouse. He's on parole. He broke his parole. He went and robbed a place. He drills this dude. He's like, hey, so what's going on with your life? The dude responds, oh, just whatever. Yeah, whatever. He goes, do you have kids? Yeah, 2. Do you recall this incident, and this incident? And the dude makes an excuse for everything. He's like, oh, so you're not claiming that you were part of that, even though on paper here that I have that you were. If you're not claiming responsibility of what you've done, I'm going to give you a maximum sentence, son. And he looks at him deep in the eyes, and he says, maximum sentence. And that's the way that I picture the guy seeing him say it,
Yeah.
And,
yeah. I thought you were actually doing that. Like, it seems a little unnecessary.
Right.
And then he's like, yeah, everything I said is true. Well, I'm looking at the paperwork here, and, I'm looking at your rap. It seems like you robbed a couple places, stole a couple cars, not telling me the truth. Yeah, you're going in for 90 years, buddy. Stamp, check, send it off. You have to be honest with your law officials, people. I can't stress it enough. Honesty is the best policy, guys. Do you guys have any experiences with honesty? Like, how has honesty helped you in your career? Because being dishonest is definitely not a positive thing. For anything. No. For anything at all. I feel like honesty should be addressed in the moment, and if you don't feel honesty in a relationship, you should step out.
I agree. If you do want me to answer the honesty and career question, I could.
Yes, I would really like you to do that.
I mean, in my career, if you mess something up for a client and you try to hide it, eventually it's going to probably come out and it's going to be worse anyway. Like, we've had a lot of instances in the past with, like, it's just the best policy. If you try to, like, take a way around something, or you try to cover something up or something like that, if you make a mistake with the project or something like that, it's better just to be upfront about it and just get it out in the air. It definitely, in the long run, you get more respect out of it from the client, because they're more willing to work with you in the future because they know that you're going to take care of things, and you don't have to worry about something coming back and biting you in the butt.
That biting me in the ass thing sucks, dude.
All right, so we're gonna wrap it up, and we're gonna leave this question with our viewers.
Hey, no.
How has
do this? I got one thing to do with you. Hey, so our boys over at any podcast, they always end with the headline. The headline topic of Google or Yahoo or the New York Times. Let's pull up one of those headlines and let's honor our boys at any podcast and do the same thing. We're not going to do it every week, I promise you. We're not going to steal your stuff. But let's pull up a headline, talk about it before we end it.
All right, pull it up.
I'm not going to do it. Can you do it? Can Mark do it? What is the first headline you guys see that we can talk about? I'm so ready. Let's talk about the headlines. Come on. Yeah.
I was on Reddit, and it's probably not the best place for headlines.
Pog. Hashtag.
I was looking at this fish that has way too many teeth.
The FAA certifies Google's wing drone delivery
amazing.
company
You guys are
to
amazing.
operate as an
Love this
airline.
photo, though.
I can't wait to. We got a phone call, Ryan. We have a phone call.
Oh, we have a phone call. Yep. Hold
Who
on.
is it?
Hold on. Hello. Thank you for calling the Sibs Cast. How are you?
Hello, Sibs Cast. I am trying to order restaurant food.
Oh.
Huh?
Hello. Oh no, we're not a food delivery place. We're a podcast.
Okay, I want two of these segundos.
Well, that's first, I guess. First
No.
for everything.
No segundos. No
I'd like
mas.
to be part of this historic moment.
Two primeros.
What the?
No.
No.
We don't serve food. But no, we're not a food
Check
place.
this out. Check
We're a
this
No
podcast.
food.
This is a Reddit post I was
Okay.
No food.
most
Um,
recently. And it's
But
very
thank you for
relevant.
calling.
No,
I
that's
got
it.
it. I got
Goodbye.
it.
All right, thank you. Goodbye. Yeah, no,
They thought we were really a food delivery place.
yeah. I don't know. I didn't really check the number. I don't know if it's close to maybe a restaurant number, but maybe we can expect those once in a while
Right, that's amazing.
on the show. But
Would you like to better read or order on air now?
yeah. Hey, depending on how this thing goes, we might start delivering food there. Who knows?
Hey man, push you ordering some portuguese stuffing and some lamb roast.
Yeah, because
I got it.
that is
How
available.
far do I gotta go to deliver it? I'm just saying.
Yeah, well, we have I think a Wisconsin number. So that's going to be tough.
That was awesome. Woo!
All right, well, I think that's a good note to
I
end
linked
on.
you a Reddit post, Brian. I was
I
scrolling
got
through
you.
the Game of Thrones wiki, or Reddit, sorry, the Reddit of Ice and Fire.
Did you see the
But
top
it's-
comment?
It's good community.
Okay, I'm going to somehow show this. Yeah, I'm going to show this on live.
I'm a balloon.
Let's show it on the air.
So I made this for one true king.
Let's see. Let me make sure I'm showing this. Boom. There we go. Top comment. I drink and I blow things. Phenomenal. So I think that's a good note to end on.
Shout out to Love
Yes. Shout out. We
And
love
the
we
second
love the
comment,
Reddits.
though,
We love the
I wanna
Twitters.
die at the age of 80 in my own bed with a belly full of wine and whore's lips wrapped around my balloon.
There's a lot,
Nailed it. This is
one
gonna
of my
be
favorite Tyrion quotes. Well, not the balloon. But
yeah.
Not the balloon, but something else.
Yeah.
Awesome. I like that he said it enough that Jamie knew it essentially by heart.
Right.
So that was good.
So,
So definitely, leave a comment or rate us. We are everywhere: Spotify, YouTube. We're going to be going on Apple's iTunes soon, probably this week. So like, subscribe, leave a comment.
Brian.
Maybe where
Hey, Brian.
honesty
hold on.
helped your career.
Brian,
But
what is that you want? Balloons? Women? Balloon women?
balloon women. I mean,
Sorry, I just had to interrupt there with that one. That was pretty amazing.
you.
Mark, thank you for this this link. This is awesome. I can't wait to check it out tomorrow.
yes,
Yeah,
there's a
Mark,
nice
thanks
post
for-
on Reddit.
Thanks for joining us on the podcast, Mark. Mark will probably be a regular guest, every once in a while. But, definitely we appreciate him coming on and
Thanks for having me. It was fun.
serve up
Hey,
your
man.
big web developer
Thank you.
questions to us, and we get them right over to him.
Hey, if there's one kind of web design thing that you could leave us with before we end it, what would it be? If I were a web designer, I'm a chef, I'm a cook. So what I leave with is always remember your garlic, celery, onions, and carrots.
Mariplois.
The Holy Trinity, quote
Right.
unquote,
Yes.
is just celery, carrots, and onions.
Right.
But I incorporate garlic into that because I think that garlic has that base flavor that the onions and celery and carrots don't
So
have.
what do you want to call it?
What does a web designer leave with other web designers, man? What do you leave with them? How do you tell them to just push forward?
I'd say, well, if you want to push forward, I'd say get involved with like local communities have a lot of stuff. I'm sure you can find a local group who's into coding, and we'll have meetups and stuff like that. But other than that, there's a lot of good stuff like Stack Overflow, stuff like that. If you're trying to adopt a new language or something like that, there's a lot of good websites that you can learn on. I mean, Code Academy? I think is the one that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of other ones as well. But I would also say look at standards. That helped me a lot. Coding standards can help you with your own coding clarity. That way, if you're posting stuff online and asking people for help, it will help them understand what you're trying to do faster. You'll be able to understand other people's code faster if they're following the same standards. And it's really something to look into. For the normal person, I'd say try to learn a little JavaScript. Every web browser has an inspector where you can modify the website with JavaScript, and if something's bothering you, like a pop-up or something like that, you can disable it through that. And you don't even really need to know much about web design. It just takes a little finagling. You can go right in and disable. You can find it on the page, disable it. It's pretty easy to do. I'm sure there's a video online where you can find out how to do that. Super handy. But other than that, I don't know. Sorry.
Well, no,
That's
don't be
great.
sorry, man.
That's great.
That was awesome. That was an awesome explanation of the intro to web design. And, if you're free next week, feel free to call in. We'll be available. And, what it comes down to for us is we want to talk to as many interesting people as we can. And, Mark, you've been a true friend to our family. You've been dedicated to your craft. And, we really want to promote that through our show. So we thank you for being here and, for your knowledge and your well-being.
Oh, anytime. Well, thank you for having me again. I had a fun time.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Hey, Brian, what's the kicker? Leave us off with the kicker, Brian. What's the kicker? Can I get a little football?
I'm not topping that, so. Thanks, guys. We'll see you next week.
We'll see you next week, folks. Have a good night. This podcast is brought to you by nobody until somebody DMs us.